though.
Oh.
My ankle and my grip.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you.
Pretty deep.
Yeah.
Oh. Let go of the rope. Oh, gee. What a mess. Ouch. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Open up your jacket. A bunch of snow just went down it. Oh, rough day for Erin. She got really car sick on the way here, threw up. All ours. Beautiful little lake.
It is. Very cool.
And what a beauty day. Flurries, sunshine, mild. Maybe we'll set up camp right here.
Yeah.
Right
Looks
on the
like
lake,
a
nice
nice spot,
clearing.
yeah. Cool. Perfect. If the wind picks up, it might be a bit of a problem, so we're going to try and kind of tuck back as much as we can, but with still being with a good view of the lake. So we're just kind of looking for a flat spot tucked in somewhere where we can get our tent set up.
Just had to walk back the trail a couple of minutes. My camera and my mitt, which fell out, I realized when I got there. That's not what you want your camera to look like. Whoa!
You okay? Oh,
Yep.
geez. Deep down there.
Yep.
Oh, our fire's going to go deep.
Yeah. We'll have to dig it out with our snowshoes a bit.
Yeah.
Smells like hot dogs. Why does it smell like hot dogs all the
We
time?
never cooked hot dogs, I don't know.
So we'll have the stovepipe going out here.
That's what I was thinking too, yeah.
This one's pretty rotten. I think I'll leave it.
So they decided this is the lumber mill.
Erin's digging out the snow where the stove's gonna go, otherwise it'll melt down way in there, become unstable, and just make a dangerous mess. Am I safe here? You feel
Yeah.
okay for space? It smells like cedar. Must be. And it's growing right by the water, so
Yeah.
that's certainly possible. There aren't any others around.
No, not really, eh?
This is the first cedar I've seen in,
This
I don't
area?
know, I can't even remember seeing one today. Chickadees are back. So the fact that this is a cedar is actually not a good thing. It's the lowest BTUs of pretty much any tree. I keep this table handy just for reference. But cedar is pretty much the worst. But it smells really nice when it burns, so that's a big leg up, and it's not that hard to process, so we'll still cut it. Here's where we are, by the way. All those other points are just POIs of mine, access points largely. On this little lake. These are forestry roads in here. Pretty quiet. Haven't heard a thing. By the look of the cedar, it seems to be quite dead, and you would think it's rotten, but cedar is so rot resistant that that can take a long time. There's some nice fat wood in these cedar pieces here, which is nice. It provides very little heat, but it's good for just getting the fire going when you want to wake up in the middle of the night, open the door, throw some stuff in. A couple of these will just help get it going nicely. Too hard to drive stakes into the ground now at this point in the winter. We're not even trying. So we're just anchoring all the guy lines with snow, pack it in around it, it centers, and it'll be good and solid. Bit of a kick in the teeth. I actually dug it out too big. Now we're digging it back in. We had to pile a bunch in around the edges. And this deep snow, it just makes everything real hard. So the tent is elevated a fair bit. So this is a palace. Holy cow. There's so much headroom.
That's crazy.
I'm 6'4" and I have like 2 feet of clearance.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's pretty sweet.
Fun.
Yeah. I've heard of this. There's like a word for it, like floating or something, where your tent is elevated and then you have all this extra room. It is nice. Laying down a drop sheet first, just to keep the snow that melts from wetting our pads too much.
I feel like I'd go the other way around. I'd put the
Yeah.
little one at the head.
You're right.
Put that one down.
So,
Nice.
again, we stopped using boughs just because we felt like it was a little too high impact and we didn't want to set that example. Even though we're in the middle of nowhere, it honestly doesn't matter really if you selectively harvest boughs, but most people watching are going to be closer to popular parks and populated areas, and we just don't want to give the wrong idea, so we ain't using them. If we set up a permanent camp for quite a while, that would be one thing. Maybe you could justify it, but for a night, I don't know. It's a bit much. So we got a big problem now. Our pipe doesn't reach. And there's a bend in the pipe here, so this one has to go here. So now we have to somehow elevate the stove we're gonna have to use logs by like 6 inches. But the logs might start smoldering if they're left under there all night. Oh boy. So it's been a bit of a frustrating day. Ended up piling back a bunch of snow into this area, which is pretty much the whole reason we dug out this tent in the first place, was to keep the stove low to the ground so there was no snow for it to melt down on. So now we've got piled on logs, and hopefully that doesn't melt down much overnight. Otherwise that could cause serious problems with the pipe. The pipe could become disconnected, and it's gonna be minus 21 tonight, so there's not really a lot of room for error. Worst case, we walk back to the car in the night. It's not terribly far, probably half an hour. So we would make it, but not ideal. It's pretty solid, so should be okay. Got a bipod set up here, keep the elbow stable. We haven't always used a bipod with the elbow. Probably should. There's just 2 short, I think 24-inch pieces, so they don't actually weigh all that much. There's not a lot of weight there, but with the extra problems we have down on the stove level, I figured it was a good idea tonight. Hey. Good job, hun. Beautiful snow out here. It's a lovely evening. Erin Had nothing left in the tank. The car sickness today really took the wind out of our sails. We're losing sun, and I'm just gonna walk along Shoreline looking for some birch bark just to make our fire making efforts that much easier. Wow, it is really gorgeous out. I've never really been scared of wolves in the sense that an attack on a human is so rare, even way more rare than a bear, which is already rare. But we were coming back from a trip a few months ago, and across the highway saw this enormous wolf cross the road. It was, I compared it to like a Saint Bernard, but you know, wild and just ferocious if it had to be. So it kind of made me look at them in a new light, especially out here in the middle of winter. Food is scarce-ish, depending on the year. So I'm kind of looking over my shoulder. Been walking for 20 minutes and I have not found one birch, which is pretty crazy. But I see some scraggly looking branches in there with no leaves. So maybe that'll be birch, unless it's poplar. Here's one. It's getting pretty dark. I gotta get back. Fire's going real nice now, and behind me I hear this little this satisfied little giggle, and I look back and there's this little creature here, Baby Yoda. Before, when I came in, she had this fully around her head. I don't know how she was breathing. Not even for warmth. You weren't that cold. You just wanted to snuggle up.
It's just my comfort.
You're crazy. Some people cover their face when they sleep. I don't know how you guys breathe.
I grew up with cats that like to put their bum holes on my face.
That's true. Her cats like to put their butt on her face, so you pretty much have to put a pillow over your face or something. Oh yeah. Oh, it's toasty in there. Tonight we put some cedar logs on the bottom to catch nice and fast, and then the medium stuff, and then the light stuff, and then just kind of scrunch the birch bark under the light twigs. Oh, that looks so good. Feels so good. Time to get some tea on, and some scotch, and a little beer. I have spoken. Stored that birch bark in this empty Doritos bag. Doritos. Fuel your passion. I'm gonna put this little piece of fat wood just on the edge here for a little while. Pull it out and see how it's doing. I was gonna make some quinoa and with ground beef, dehydrated ground beef, for dinner, but we don't feel like doing anything. We're just very tired. So, gonna make some crescents on a stick. Did that last winter in the Quincy. It was very nice, and some goat cheese with rosemary crackers, best crackers, and of course the good stuff. Look at that golden nectar. And we brought in a little treat, a little craft beer. Bob Cajun, red ale, dockside. Sounds really good. Let's have it.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not too slushy. Here, you want it? You're gonna have to sit up. No, it's not slushy. Excellent. Oh, it's good. Oh, that's hitting the spot.
I'm coming out of my cocoon.
Baby Yoda is born.
Oh no, I'm still a darn caterpillar. What?
Just imagine if a caterpillar went into its cocoon,
Came out
a month
still
later,
a caterpillar.
still a caterpillar. Oh, does that taste good or what?
Yeah, it does.
Yep. It's perking me up. There's nothing like the first sip of beer, and just bringing one can just gives you both that treat for the evening. You don't have to bring in a 2-4 or anything. Just that one little treat, and then Scotch is, of course, much more higher percentage, so it's better for weight. Oh, yeah. Not nearly as crackly as I would have expected for jack pine and cedar. Usually our spruce fires are more crackly.
It's pretty surprisingly quiet.
I totally forgot about that piece of fat wood, and now it is just like gone. So we'll try that again. Oh, it's hot. Real hot in there. Holy cow. Well, it's burning like a torch, but I think anything wood in there.
Anything wood?
So it'll be minus 21 tonight, and I'll be using my summer mat, this Neo Air Thermarest. The reason I'm using my summer pad is because Erin's using my kind of winterish pad. It's R value 4.4, I believe, as opposed to this, which is 3.2. Because we just don't trust her X bed anymore. It's deflated 3 times on us now due to pinhole leaks. So we have to contact them and see if they'll repair it and honor their warranty. But in the meantime, it's just not worth Erin waking up again on a deflated mat. That's my presentation.
Perfect. Ever since my car accident last year, I get really car sick. It was just because I had a bad concussion after effects maybe, but I got sick on the way up and threw up my breakfast, which was unfortunate because John made us nice egg wraps. But this is the first thing I've had all day outside of Snickers since then, so it's tasting pretty good.
So here's that piece of fat wood. Put it in, ignite. And it seems to hold a flame longer than a normal piece of wood would outside of the fire.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's just like a little torch almost.
And
All that
smells
resin.
great.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I really like the smell when it's not on fire. And now it's a bit acrid. But overall it's still not bad. But look at that, it's just holding that flame nicely.
But our tent smells like hot dogs, so it smells better to me.
For some reason, the residual smoke smell that gets left on the cotton canvas, when you take the cotton canvas out of the bag the next time, it smells like hot dogs, but like not in a good way, in a gross way. Look at this. I wonder how long this would go. Anyway, probably several minutes at least.
Mm.
You don't want to make it too dense or thick, because then it won't cook well on the inside. So we think we have a better strategy this year, as opposed to holding it over the fire. Just place it there over the burner plate and let the hot air do the work. They were cooking a little too quickly maybe, so we elevated them on these logs. We got 2 sticks going, and this one's ready to tear open, we think. It's probably still pretty doughy inside, but beggars can't be choosers.
For you.
Oh,
Oh wow, that smells good.
thanks, honey. Oh wow, it's beautifully flaky.
Look at that.
Oh wow. Mm. Mm. Thank you.
For you.
Oh, that's a treat. Mmm. That's good.
Not too doughy yet?
No, it's quite perfect.
Piney yet though.
Does it?
Way, though, yeah. You can smell it.
Oh wow. Cool.
It's hot.
Is it cooked?
Yeah. It's nice and flaky. Ooh, gotta keep an eye on this one.
Oh boy. That one tastes even better.
It does.
And I am getting a bit of that like pine flavor. Yeah, because our sticks are from jack pine. That's so funny.
And it's kind of seeping out into the
Wow.
crescent.
That's actually fairly prominent. That flavor.
Here.
What is it you cook on pine planks? Like salmon? Yeah.
Cedar often too.
Thank you.
use
Oh, cedar. Maybe I'm thinking of cedar. That's cool. Oh. Uh-oh. This one's probably done. Okay.
I don't know how, but somehow I zipped some of my hair into the zipper on my way out.
You're having a rough day.
It's a rough one. I've had better. I've had worse. Oh.
Draft is such a cool thing. Just sucking the steam off of this log in and then up the pipe. Last order of business for the night. We harvested some chaga last weekend. I'm gonna plop that into this little pot of water and just simmer that overnight. I'll take it off when I go to stoke the stove later if I feel like it's too hot and it's steaming a lot. But it's supposed to steep for like 4 hours, so in the morning we'll have a nice pot of chaga tea ready for us. Well, no stars. It actually is snowing again. The wind is really gusting too, as you might be able to hear, so I'm really glad that we did set up the bipod. Should keep the pipe stable. Unless our forecast was way off, this must be reading a little off. I don't know. I'm not sure which one's more likely. But it's reading everything as negative 33, 34. But it was only supposed to be minus 21. Maybe it's somewhere in between. I don't know. Anyway, it's cold out. Well, my camera lens just froze in position and it won't retract now, so that's never happened before, so it's pretty cold. Problem is you can't get a forecast for this location. Like, there's no town or measuring station anywhere near here. Probably the closest one is, I don't know, 50 kilometers south. And that's closer to Lake Superior, which has a big impact on the forecast, so it's a bit of a guessing game always when you come out here. Oh yeah, that's better. Coming back in here to this roaring hot fire with nice coals. Some chaga tea that's been brewing overnight. Looks real dark. Should be nice right about now. Kettle. Oh yeah. And a good amount of wood left for the morning. Plenty. Okay, it's tea time. Holy cow, it's dark like really rich coffee.
Yeah.
So dark. It's a strong brew.
Is that?
It's a strong brew. There's no caffeine in chaga. Unfortunately, could use it today. And these chunks that we processed off of the chaga mushroom, these can be reused. These are small chunks, so you can probably only reuse them twice, but for larger chunks, you can reuse them up to 4 times, I've read.
I've got a chaga tea for Mick Jaron.
But I'm in my cocoon.
Mick Jaron, okay. We're spilling. Thank you for shopping at Starbucks.
Thank you.
Welcome.
How was it?
Warm. It's good. It's hot, but.
Simmered perfectly there.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a lot more potent than the time we only steeped it for 3 hours. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
I like it better this time, actually.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
As we've mentioned before, chaga tea is believed to have a lot of good health benefits, including anti-inflammatory, regulating blood sugar, regulating your immune system, and packed with antioxidants. But we're not doctors, so look into it yourself.
Those coals at the bottom are actually maxing out the temperature gun's range. So it goes from like almost 800 degrees, and then if I bury that point in the coals, it hits high. It's pretty hot. About 1400 degrees Fahrenheit.
The gun has had time to acclimatize. I brought it inside the tent to warm it up. Came back outside and it says minus 33 now, which is like a logical connection to 30 minutes ago it being minus 34. So maybe it's correct.
This seems like it might be more accurate now. Minus 25. Minus 26. 27. But it's a beautiful day.
We're going to take a quick hike around the lake this morning before packing up, just to check it out and see what we see.
So we're leaving the main lake behind and we're going to explore this northern little channel The wind overnight blew away all my tracks basically from yesterday. But I can see something running up here. Pretty recently, I guess. This is a classic northern scene here. Just the swampy spruce woods, dead. It's pretty cold, eh? It's a very nice forest here, almost exclusively conifer. We got spruce, jack pine, tamarack, some birds flying off. So peaceful. Oh god. Oh god. Man down. You can't lean anywhere. Oh, maybe. It's so awkward to get up. Can you take this?
Here. Just having my snowshoes to lean on help.
A lot of these falls happen when I'm trying to set up the little tripod for a shot. These are nice, these gloves. They have a drawstring here that can be operated with one hand. So now it's pretty much locked there around the wrist. That wasn't so bad. Sometimes your hand just goes for like 2 feet. Okay, let me try and get that shot again. These cold sunny days are just so beautiful. If you haven't been to Northern Ontario, Canada, you'll struggle to find a place that's more pure. Lakes, trees everywhere. It's just a paradise. I love it so much. Came in here to check out these tracks, which are a pretty good size. I don't know. What is that? Oh, that looks pretty hoof-like. That's probably a moose, yeah. That's definitely a hoof print there.
Is that moose pee on the tree?
Moose pee?
Look at the tree.
Oh yeah. Way up there? I don't know. I don't think so. You'd have to pee pretty far. And some mountain ash berries. Still yummy for the birds. Probably heavily fermented. I think they can actually get drunk on them. Just a beauty. We've been dying to see a moose or some wildlife this winter. We've had lots of birds, but nothing significant aside from a wolf that we didn't get good footage of, and a couple moose that I didn't get good footage of. More big tracks. Oh, grouse. They always startle me with their furious wing beating. Oh no. Oh honey, you made like a snow angel.
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
Did you just look away and lost your balance?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, thank you.
It's funny how easily it happens. You lose your balance for 1 sec and then your snowshoe catches and you're down. So back to the tracks, which I would think would be the moose since the other tracks were just 50 yards that way. Yeah, I would say so. With tracks like these, well, no, those aren't that deep. These could be different, I don't even know. Hard to say, it's all blown over from the wind now. And do they just stop here? That's odd. It's always interesting. I always wish I knew more. If we had another day here, I sure would have loved to bring my fishing gear. Wonder what's in here. Probably pike or brook trout. We're just letting the fire burn out now. Some beautiful glittering coals. And the skis held up really well last night. They didn't budge at all. And the snow beneath them, in addition to the height of the logs, allowed the pipe to reach through the hole and resolve that issue.
I'm not strong enough.
It's okay.
I'll hold it up. We're good.
Beautiful sunlight in here.
Yeah.
1/2 false bottom, still hot. These are barbecue gloves. They're coated with silicone. Still gotta be careful. These coals are still relatively hot. I'm just gonna let that cool there for a minute. Ow!
Are you okay?
Oh, good thing I had my hat on.
What'd you do?
Ow!
What'd you do?
I was prying it out of the snow and it suddenly just gave. Erin's career aptitude test when she was a kid told her she was going to be what?
A chimney sweep.
And she's damn good at it.
That or a vending machine repair person.
All these snow anchors held great. I can't even pull this one out. There. There's one. They're actually hard to pull out.
Yeah, I have to dig them out with my feet.
And it was windy last night too, and they didn't budge one bit.
Yeah.
Can't get it out. Holy smokes. There. On our first hot tent outing, a few ashes fell on the tent when we didn't have an elbow in the stovepipe and burned holes. Someone told me you can put aqua seal on top of the holes and it'll seal it up pretty well. I did that out here on a warmer day where the aqua seal could cure properly, and it seems to have done a good job. It's adhering to it well and it sealed the hole.
So here's another perspective of just how tall the tent was last night. There's John standing as he would have been in the tent. Because you can see, I don't know if you can get a better view from before, but how we dug it out. So it literally felt like a mansion. It was hilarious. So we had quite a bit of clearance. It was pretty fun. There's a lot of it.
We always pile up our leftover wood in case anyone ever comes back. Highly unlikely here and in most of the places we go, but if they do, it's a nice little bit of wood. And the amount of wood it takes to get through a night in this little hot tent really makes you appreciate how much heat and energy is going into you heating your home on cold nights. Oh yeah? Tracks in our tracks?
Some little creature, I think a little bunny of some sort was using our trail last night, has been here. It's kind of cute. Follows along our tracks.
Beautiful in here, eh? Traffic jam. It's funny the way snow gathers sometimes. Like that. In that arm there. on the end of that log there, just a huge clump. It's funny. All right, that's it for the hot tent for a good little while, about a month probably. Gonna be going to a cabin soon and then trying out some winter hammock camping. This is a good one to go out on though.
Daylight in which to begin the even more difficult ordeal of bringing him down. Yet their loyalty to Paul was such that the two men ignored the overwhelming odds and set out toward the south summit as fast as they could climb.